What's going on, people of planet Earth? Once again, I'm Colin. I'm here to help you make your bike quiet. The opposite of my voice. Alright, we're going to be going through how to do your own homemade hull lock on a SRAM GX Eagle derailleur and a Shimano XTR derailleur as well. I'll walk through, I'll do just like a quick little tutorial. I'll show you what it is making noise, how to avoid it, and things you need to do along with this to make sure that your bike is silent. So I'm just skipping right to the juice. Get your derailleur off, and you can easily notice that there's no wear there because that aluminum bracket is there on the derailleur. Let me hold on a second. Okay, continuing. Sorry, I accidentally hit the stop record button. So there's your B tension bracket. And look at that. That is clear sign that there's chatter going on from the B tension screw on your derailleur. Meaning that your derailleur is actually clapping around more than just the cage. As you can see, I have a very fancy titanium bolt. Let me go ahead and throw this back together and I'll kind of show you what your derailleur does when you ride. So this is with it set up stock. You can see that your derailleur is designed to pivot around that B tension area. So that way when you tighten and, or when you adjust your B tension screw here, booyah, that the derailleur allows it to pivot, assuming that your clutch is off when you adjust your B tension. But you can clearly see that there is marring right where that B screw contacts, meaning that when you're going down choppy downhill, and obviously you will not have your bike in that gear, you will have it in a sprint ready gear because your derailleur is going to have more room for chain slap here. Never put your bike down there unless you're going down a fire road. But anyway, so when your derailleur is clapping, I'm sure you guys have seen stuff in slow motion, especially with the clutch on. And derailleur is going to want to slap back through all those rocks, and then when it snaps back, it's actually going to want to take the derailleur with it like that. So the whole point of this system is to delete that action. This is like a homemade hull lock. As soon as I saw that hull lock get released on the new TRP 12 speed system, I had an idea immediately, and it ended up working first try. I've already tested it, so I can assure you that it works. So let me take it apart and I'll show you what's going on. So here's a close-up of the parts coming out. I would definitely say that the Shimano is superior to the SRAM. It always has been. This system seems to work better on Shimano so far. Very happy with the outcome, but you can see how the bolt goes through the derailleur, and on these are actually almost like bushings. That just allows your derailleur to move in this area when you adjust B tension. But after you adjust your B tension on your cassette and your bike, it never needs to move again, and then it just makes noise. So what we're doing, we have removed the small clip. That's not going back in, but I would hold on to it anyway. And then when you tighten your derailleur bolt, this lip right there is actually bottoming out on this bracket, just like that, and that's only what tightens your derailleur. So it leaves this area with free play. That's the way it's designed. It's supposed to do that, no big deal. So we want to delete that. We want to have a system that tightens your derailleur to the hanger. So obviously you would have your B tension set, your drivetrain's great. I mean, your bike's already set up. You're watching this video to find out how to make it quieter. So we're going to delete that system. We're going to get a aluminum shock spacer, the thinnest one you can. That way you have the most amount of thread still engaging on the bolt. Booyah! Slides right over, just like that. Comes in, back into the derailleur. And then your clamp bolt goes on. Let me throw it on because this one's actually slightly threaded. So give me a second. It locks the whole system in place, not allowing your derailleur to pivot there. So isolating all the chain and shifting movement only to the derailleur cage, the way it's supposed to be. So once you have your B tension adjusted, like John Hall said, Aaron Gwynn's mechanic, that doesn't need to move. So very inspired by that guy, and I definitely like my bike to be quiet. So there you have it. Shock spacer on the outside, a little bit of customization, tighten it. If you ever need to get your wheel off, and then you just loosen a little. Use an aluminum one because all this other stuff is aluminum, so it's going to be matching the same hardness of metal here. If you put a steel one in there, I would think that it's going to put too much load on the head of the bolt or start wearing out in your derailleur. But it almost acts as a clutch in the same way, assuming that you use aluminum. See, if I really crank on this derailleur, I can get it to pivot back. You know, it takes some force, definitely. Look, it slowly returns. I mean, booyah. So, that's proving that it works. Sweet. It hasn't come loose. I've had some gnarly riding on it in Laguna, on Telonics, Silver Surfer, PG, and it held up and it was so quiet. So now I'll walk you through some of the other padding I did. We're going to go over here to our redneck department. And see, I have all kinds of the Home Depot special, I call it. Different kinds of foam tape, foam wrap, D-profile for, you know, like garage door stuff and like door jams, all that kind of stuff. And then flex tape, my favorite, because it's insanely sticky. It's made in America, and it's really durable against chain slapping. And then on top of that, I have Velcro, double-sided tape. That's just protection tape. The other stuff in here. Here's the other side of the Velcro. I don't really use that. But I came in and I put the foam tape in there against the frame, cleaned it up very well with alcohol first. This is the first ride on it. The bike's still dirty. I'm just using this as example. And then put the flex tape over it. I notice it sticks better to the frame than it does, I guess, the rubber guard that's already on here. So I folded it around the other side. Ooh. And stuck it right to the frame. And then I put an extra little piece right there. And then on top of that, for extended wear, I put the soft Velcro on here because I can easily peel that off and replace it rather than redoing this whole system. I did the same thing up in here. The only time it's close is when the bike is in the hardest gear, figuring that you're not in there anyway on the downhill. See, the foam tape extends up to here. I just did the flex tape over it right here. Very squishy. And then this, I think I might work on something in here to kind of raise it up, kind of like the Specialized bike. I noticed the bike is really quiet off the bat, so I plan on just keeping it. I did have my Fox 36 box. I did have some Kogel ones on here. These are like the ceramic, oversized 14 tooth ones, and those are lighter because it's just metal on metal. So I went back to the stock pulleys. And another thing with the 14 tooth, you can see the small derailleur cage bridge down. I'm sorry. Bear with me, cell phone. I'm just here to help you guys. There we go. So you can see, you can hear that. So when you have oversized pulleys, it actually pulls that even closer because the radius over here is higher, and radius over there is higher as well. So it puts it really close to that. You notice you get some slapping on there. So I'd recommend keeping your stock Delrin ones, especially on Shimano and SRAM derailleurs. I know the SRAM ones already on their XO1, they're kind of higher up derailleurs, already have ceramic bearings in there, so you should probably just keep it the way it's designed to do. And yeah, there's your Hall lock system. I do have an MRP AMG 2 chain guide. I've noticed it's very quiet and it has no contact, so it's not robbing me of any power. I did put a little piece of flex tape in there, but I don't get too much chain slap in there. And then with this whole system, you can actually relieve a little bit of the tension on your clutch because Shimano ones are cool and they have an adjustable clutch. I'm sure you guys know that. 2mm Allen, rebuildable, serviceable, replaceable, just overall like really high quality. You might not need the same tension on a cross-country race bike that you would an enduro race bike, but there you have it. There's your homemade Hall lock system, and then just some tips and tricks how to get your bike quieter with the padding. Save your paint, save everything. The stock system might not be enough, but you know, it didn't cost your bike manufacturer very much to mold a piece like this and sell it for $9 for a replacement one. But yeah, go ahead and add to that. Get some flex tape, get some Velcro, go to Home Depot, make a trip, stop by after lunch, order it online, whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, if you try it out, let me know in the comments, I guess. I had a bunch of people on Instagram asking, what the heck did you do? What did you do? So here I am to tell you what I did. Yeah, very happy with it. So I put the stock things back on just so I could show you guys an example for the video. I've already done it on this derailleur just to make sure that it works and you have everything you need. Taking the derailleur apart, you're going to find this split ring washer. Very similar to what you'd find holding the air spring in on a Fox fork. I'm really gonna try here to get the zoom right. Oh, you can't zoom in when super steady mode is on. Wow, that's convenient. Anyway, see how it's got a split right there? And it does like a little corkscrew. So it's really hard to find that, and you're gonna want to brush off this area with like a toothbrush. And then find that little lip, kind of what you'd see on a Fox air spring or like a Chris King seal retainer. Really hard, but use like a pick or a really small flathead. Pry that out, and then you should be able to get the B-tension bracket right off. And then after that, the bolt will be free. And keep a heads up for, bam, there's the wave washer. So go ahead and remove those parts. Bingo, bingo. Got the split washer, booyah, and your bolt. And then come over here. Grab your, has to be aluminum. Don't use the nylon ones. When you tighten it, it's not going to torque it properly. It might give it a good feel, but the thing will just expand and your derailleur will be loose. You want like a hard bottom out, so I would use an aluminum shock spacer. It's already the same diameter. Find the thinnest one possible because you will be getting less thread on your derailleur. And then go ahead and put that back through. Booyah! And then ditch all those washers because you don't need any of them, but keep them close by. And then, remember I have one hand, but I just want to help you guys. So your bead tension adjustment, nothing should change. And let me go ahead and get this started threading, and then I'll kind of get back to my one-hand action here. Oh. Okay, continuing here. Got our washer rod, tightening down. As you can see, when it's not all the way tight, see when it's just kind of like torqued down a little bit, that your derailleur still moves as if you didn't do anything. Hey, get! When you tighten it down, booyah, your bead tension is locked in place. So there you have it. There's the SRAM derailleur. I'm filming this video out of order. I'm actually going to show you like everything going on my Mega Tower here. But yeah, so when you take the wheel off, you can obviously just pop that loose, and then your axle size is usually the same size, so that's not a pain in the butt. Or it's just a hand release. Assuming you have tools, knowledge, and know how to do this, then this should not be a hassle at all. And it'll keep your bike quiet. There you have it. And one last thing I want to show you is using some... Oh, we're on wide angle. There we go. Using some sprinkler irrigation line, or just sprinkler line. It's the actual inside diameter of that is the same outside diameter of shifting cable. So you can get that as well when you're at Home Depot. Let me see if I have any laying around. Oh yeah, there we go. Got a little bit. Yeah, just like a real hard, sturdy line. The main thing this is going to do is protect your derailleur and wiring, or not wiring, cabling. If your bike ever tips over, it's going to keep this safe, and it's going to keep your cable from kinking here. This is a very like kink known area, not to be kinky, but that's going to keep this area sturdy, which is well needed. So like I couldn't even like kink that wire with my thumb if I wanted to. It's just going to keep this area rigid, but you have to be very careful with your cabling through here because you don't want to bow in it, or else it'll transfer all like kinkness to the end here going in your cabling, which you don't want, which will like reverse everything. And at the same time, as your suspension is moving up and down, it's going to keep that cable from getting fed back into the frame through suspension movement, derailleur movement. But at the same time, this will add to your hall lock thing, locking this in place so your derailleur couldn't even pivot forward and push the cable in. So it's locking this where it's at, and then that way your whole system has tension right where it needs to be. Inside of my frame here as well, I do have the same phone tubing that I got from Home Depot. It's in here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I showed you a second ago. Yeah, there we go. I just got foam tubing, 1/4 inch, tucked it in there. I didn't peel the tape off. It was cheap. It worked. So that's through there. Same thing on the brake line. Don't want any noise. And then coming to the front, did zip ties and electrical tape. So I left these zip ties loose, that way cables can still move around and that they'd return to the same area when you turn your handlebars. But this was mainly just to clean it up, but you can also just put a zip tie at the end on both sides, locking the two cables together, and then daisy chain off of those, just like that, so you get it nice and loose. That'll keep your cables from slapping against each other, and especially on the handlebars as well. I actually do have protective tape on my bars, mainly just for having a race plate on. all year long. Haha, just kidding. But yeah, I have a little zip tie here at the end so it doesn't start splitting the tape. I mean, it's not the cleanest thing, but it's definitely the quietest. So yeah, just a couple extra pointers there. I don't think I missed anything. You see my lockout system on there. It's pretty dialed. Pretty sweet. Everything's quiet. I don't have any noise anywhere, but the harder I ride, the more I'll find, so the more I get to help you guys. So cheers, or however the YouTubians say it. Have a wonderful day. Jesus loves you guys.